What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Week. In this episode, we'll be reviewing the game against West Coast. Let's get into it. So before we get into it, of course, Footy Live, download the apps. Thank you again for helping me out and supporting me through this year. Let's get into the West Coast Collingwood game. Finally, we don't play on a Sunday. We went to Perth, played West Coast, 18th on the ladder versus first on the ladder. Now, I went into this game thinking that it wasn't going to be a huge win. There was people saying 120 points, 150 points, 80, 90. And I thought, no, we know this Collingwood team. And this Collingwood team, sorry, not McRae's Collingwood team, just Collingwood in general, don't like putting teams away. Yes, we beat Port Adelaide by 70 points at the start of the season, and then I think we beat GWS by 55 points. This was a 63-point win in the end. You know, West Coast were getting some of their bigger name players back, so they're trying to get, you know, that senior experience. Yes, they have a lot of injuries. Yes, they're like last on the ladder, like absolutely dead last on the ladder. But teams always want to perform super well against Collingwood. Even if we're playing like, you know, we're 15th or 16th, teams still want to perform super well. It's everyone's grand final when they play us. And obviously, because we're first, they want to knock us off from top of the ladder. They want to prove a point. Now, I knew West Coast were going to come out and play just out of their skin, and that's exactly what they did. When you look at the final margin, 63 points, you think, oh, that's a pretty comfortable win. But we had to wait until, you know, later on in the third quarter to start sort of playing the way we want to play. David King said it's the McRae sandwich. We play really well in the first quarter, really well in the last quarter, conserve our energy in the second and third, and that's pretty much what happened. I think during that third quarter, we might have only been up by 10 or 11 points at one stage, and not that we were getting worried, but it was more like we thought we could just chill out, you know, have a beer or a non-alcoholic drink and watch the game and go on and just have a big win. But West Coast just kept trying, and to their credit, you know, as much as I hate them, to their credit, they fought hard all throughout the game. When you look at the stats, they won contested possession by 7, they won clearances by 10, and mind you, we are the best clearance side in the game, so they took that away from us, and they, you know, flipped it on their head, and they were the better clearance side for the game, and they only had one fewer inside 50s than us. So, you know, like I said, credit to them, they came out of their skin. Now, if you looked at social media towards mainly the third quarter, when West Coast started to kick a lot more goals, and we're only down by 2 goals or whatever it was, up by 2 goals or whatever it was, there were a lot of people, this is pathetic, this is shit, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I don't think it was pathetic, but I understand that, you know, we were all expecting a huge win. And, you know, it wasn't that Collingwood were playing bad. It's just that we literally didn't get out of, I would say, second gear, but it kind of felt like first gear. We kicked 4 goals in each of the first 3 quarters and then 6 goals in the last. So it wasn't like we weren't kicking goals at stages. We had a pretty consistent, you know, goal kicking, 4, 4, 4, and then 6. So I'm pretty happy about that. Our big name players stood up and we got the job done. All I wanted to do was go over there, get the 4 points and come back, because these sort of teams against the lower sides often trip up teams. We saw North Melbourne kick 7 goals in that last quarter a couple of weeks ago, and we haven't played Hawthorn yet either. But, you know, people say, oh, but Hawthorn beat this West Coast team by 130 points. That was never going to happen. Like, that West Coast were always going to play out of their skin. Dom Sheet's 150th, that bastard. But, yeah, well, they were always going to play out of their skin. I'm just happy we got the win. I think we went up 5 percentage points as well, or percentage points, 5% as well. So we not only top of the ladder, 1 game clear of Port Adelaide, 2 games of Brisbane, but we also have the best percentage in the league for the first time in what feels like forever. And now we are 11-1 to start the season. We haven't started a season like this since 2011, when we played deep into September and ultimately lost the grand final to Geelong. But that's not going to happen this year because Geelong aren't probably going to make the grand final. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. 11-1 for the first time since 2011. Now, personnel-wise with this game, Nick Dacos I said he might have gotten 1 Brownlow vote because Dom Sheed and Elliot Yeo played really good games. So did Tom Mitchell. People are saying that he might have gotten 3 for his performance. So 30 disposals, 600 meters gained, had the ball everywhere, 3 really nice goals. So he's going to be in the forefront of all the umpires. Tom Mitchell played another incredible game. 13 tackles, 15 of his 30 disposals, 15 of those were contested. I think about 5 or so clearances, nearly 400 meters gained, 26 pressure acts as well. So he is just the Wombat. That's what they call him at the club, Feathers, Wombat. Recruit of the year, or one of the recruits of the year, because he has just changed our game immensely. Our clearance game, our in and under game, it's all changed because we've brought in one of the best, or not even one of the best clearance players in the game. There were just a lot of players that did everything right. Brody Mychek, another 3 goals. Ash Johnson. Bobby Hill, another 3 goals, who has just been incredible. Isaac Quaynor down back. Darcy Cameron took 7 marks. Quaynor took 11 marks. So everyone was firing. It's just like I said, we weren't going out of second gear, and I'm not really phased about it. I'd be more upset if we ended up only winning by 20 points or something. Then you'd start asking questions. But, the McRae sandwich, like David King said it best, we fire in the first, fire in the last, conserve energy in the third and fourth, and you have to play every single minute against us, and no team can do that. We're going to have a big test against Melbourne next week, but we did what we needed to do against the Eagles. Now, the biggest talking point coming out of this game is Jordan De Goey, that bump on Hewitt. It's dumb. It's so dumb. People will say, oh, the AFL is weak now, you can't do that. But he hip and shot, or he bumped Hewitt when he didn't need to, right? I can see what he was trying to do, but he didn't need to do that. Hewitt had gotten rid of the ball. It's not like he had the ball. You can kind of see his feet leave the ground as well. Hewitt gets concussed and probably won't, obviously, if he's concussed, he won't play next week. Jordan De Goey is looking at, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. Opposition will tell you that he's got life without parole. Kane Corns will tell you that it was a weak act. And let me just say that, was it a stupid, dumb act? Yes. We're trying to stamp that out of our game. Absolutely dumb. Idiotic even. Was it weak? No. A weak is a calculated act. Weak act is Caminiti's hit to Nathan Murphy. A weak act is Andrew Gaff hitting Brayshaw. A weak act is Barry Hall on Brent Staker, I think it was. They're weak acts. They're calculated, just, insane hits. This was, yes, it was dumb and idiotic, but it wasn't weak. It's a split second of the moment. Yes, Hewitt is playing, I think it was his 4th game, and it sucks, and I hope he's doing okay, and Fly said as much as well. But, unfortunately, Jordan De Goey is going to miss up to a month of football, and with the bye, it'll be 5 weeks without Jordan De Goey. But we just move on. It is what it is now, and we've got guys waiting in the wings. We've got Paddy Lipinski coming back in. Finn McRae might get a run. Carmichael might get a run. So there's guys that will get their opportunity now that Jordan De Goey isn't playing. We have to start, and we have been, spinning negatives into positives. And yes, Jordan De Goey in All-Australian form, probably in career best form, probably in Brownlow medal form, is going to miss a chunk of football, and that's done. We can't do anything about that. We can't lament on that. Let's look at who replaces him, who comes in, and will McRae or Carmichael finally get their opportunity. Speaking of Paddy Lipinski, Bo McCreary did his ankle. It's going to be touch and go for next week. He's going to get scans. I'd probably leave him out of the Melbourne game because we've got the bye coming up. Even if he's 80%, leave him out. Will Hoskin-Elliott rolled his ankle or sprained his ankle, but McRae said he is ready to go. Ash Johnson copped a corky, but he came on and he battled in that last quarter. Patrick Lipinski, Dan McStay, and Jamie Elliott are all ready to go and all ready to come in against Melbourne. I would honestly bring in all 3. We'll talk about a little bit about that in the Melbourne preview, but I would bring in all 3, especially Patrick Lipinski, who's going to be a good replacement for I was going to say Jamie Elliott, who's going to be a good replacement for Jordan De Goey. But look, guys, it's a win. We're top of the ladder. There's not much else to say about it. It was an ugly win until the last quarter where we kicked 6 goals to their none. But we got it. Percentages at an all-time high. We play Melbourne next week, and we have every single opportunity to go 12-1 before the bye. And it is so exciting. It is so exciting. Can't believe it. I can't believe that we're in this position right now, but it's one game at a time. We spin negatives into positives, especially with Goey, and we just go out and enjoy the win and enjoy your Sunday. Like, we don't have to play on Sunday. How good's that? Enjoy it, revel in the win, up the mags. But like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.